Welcome to Cross Transformation. It's Mariam here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about was your upbringing with a borderline parent. You see, mine was, and as a result of that upbringing, for so long, I had no idea that I was perceiving the world around me, the reality, through those borderline traits. It took me some time to come out of those traits, to heal them, to identify them, to embrace them, to see the reality for what it is instead of perceiving the reality through those traits. So today I want to talk about the two traits that we may experience when our upbringing had been with a borderline parent. First of all, I'm going to talk about the borderline anger. I didn't know that I was experiencing it. I didn't know that I had it projected onto me because my mother was a borderline. So that anger was really, really wild. I didn't know how to express it. I also didn't know how to be the recipient of anger when somebody else would be angry. So I had such a hard time processing the emotion of anger in myself and to deal with it when someone else would be angry with me. The borderline anger is inappropriate, intense, and difficult to handle. It can reveal itself as rage. It's out of control. I would be so angry that I had no idea how to be in control. Eventually, I had to learn how to be emotionally centered and how to have emotional self-control. But the whole time, I just wanted to deal with different situations through anger. And I had such a hard time with my partners back in time because something would happen and straight away I had this rage coming out of me, and I didn't know that was the borderline anger that my mother was experiencing back in time. So I had to learn assertiveness. I had to learn to be assertive instead of being angry, and I learned not to be a victim to the emotion that is called anger. But what I was experiencing was not an emotion. It was bigger and deeper. I didn't know how to manage it, how to express it, how to receive it. As I said, if someone would be angry with me, I would be out of control. I didn't know how to respond. Are you experiencing the same? It is quite challenging when we look into that borderline anger. Just quite sad to think, oh wow, this is what is happening in me, the borderline rage. And I felt quite helpless to handle myself. It took me some time to realize that my identity wasn't in that anger, and straight away when I realized that I was free, when I realized that my identity was not in that anger, in that borderline anger, I was able to see it from here instead of being caught up in it. So allow yourself to experience anger, to teach yourself to be assertive, because assertiveness is to speak up for yourself without the need to feel rage, to be mad at someone. So instead of experiencing that borderline anger, we can identify ourselves with emotional self-control, finding our peace as we become assertive. Speaking up is healthy, but being mad, wanting to prove that this anger is who I am, is not the way. The second thing I want to talk about is going from one extreme to the other. And I had that in me, and that is, again, a borderline trait. Just going from one end to the other, from love to hatred, and it was all about the same person. And I experienced that with my partners back in time, loving them, and then something would happen and hating them, or just praising them, and then all of a sudden there was that devaluing them. So I had to learn to find this pattern that would be soothing, that I don't need to jump from one end to the other. I don't need to go from one extreme to the other. I don't need that sudden change in me. I'm not identified with it. I can be gentle. I can be in control. I can love, and that love doesn't have to become hatred towards the same person. And that was a trait that my mother had, and she was experiencing it. I totally get it. I totally understand. It is quite challenging to come out of these patterns, because somehow we've learned to identify ourselves with them. But we can do it. You can do it. And it's so amazing when we see ourselves outside of those patterns, moving towards who we are, to be in control, to be gentle, to celebrate our identity in God. Hopefully you'll find this video helpful. Bless your soul. Look after your precious soul. Be blessed. Peace be with you, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, and God bless you.